Australia's outback is usually dusty and dry. This is the exception. The Menindee lakes have more water in them than they have had in years, following an unusually wet few months. That's good news for the ecology here, and for tourism operators such as Robert Gregory, who runs boat tours for birdwatchers.
It's looking pretty good, really good actually. It's probably at its best. Everyone in town is just jumping with joy because they can see a rise with the economy, like the supermarkets turning over a few more dollars, the pubs turning over a few more dollars, a couple more jobs in town.
An abundance of water is very unusual in Australia's interior. It is a resource that is fought over. Away from Australia's coast, water is the most precious of resources. Demand for it far outstrips supply, and that makes its allocation a major political fault line. Upstream on the Darling River, farmers store water in huge reservoirs. Green plantations of cotton burst from the desert soils. It's been grown in Australia for almost 200 years, but environmentalists say communities upstream take so much water that it damages wetland environments downstream. It also reduces the amount of water that downstream towns like Broken Hill and cities, particularly Adelaide, rely on. So in 2012, the Australian government introduced a Murray-Darling Basin plan to stop so much water being siphoned off upstream. 5 years later, the impact of that plan is starting to bite as it's implemented by the current government, led by a different political party.
Irrigation is an industry that has a huge role to play in trying to keep these communities vibrant. So how much can you continue to take?
Australia's current water minister, Barnaby Joyce, comes from this part of the country. He's backed a review calling for a reduction of the plan's targets. He's also promised to look at how water allocation decisions affect rural communities. But downstream, at the other end of the river, local politicians and environmentalists want the current plan to be made more ambitious, for rivers to flow more in line with their original courses. That would mean they get more water. Australia's water wars then have some way to run. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Menindee in inland New South Wales.